This is Life's a Pitch TV. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Laken's, all about hearing. GDS Builders, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 60, The Hudson Group, Sound 4 Pro Audio, Come Hither Design, and Suffolk Sound. Charities this year: Cancer Support Suffolk, Forget Me Not Golf, and Back to Coffee. Welcome to the DPS Tech Arena. I'm your host, Mark Murphy, the capacity crowd in fine voice, because we are heading for promotion. We've got lots to come on the programme tonight. I'm your host, Mark Murphy. Wherever you're watching or listening, welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, to like and subscribe. It does make all the difference. Feel free to comment away on there as well. Let me introduce you to the team. As always, Terry Butcher. Hey! Russell Osman. In the Sound 4 Pro Audio production suite, we have Richard Garrett. Hooray! And our studio managers tonight, Sarah Jane and Andy. You are our capacity crowd. Lovely to see you. So we've got the Churchman stand sponsored by John Keeble Cars. Hooray! And the North stand sponsored by Ashford Wright. Hooray! Brilliant, brilliant. Welcome along to the show. So much to get through this evening. We have got a fabulous, fabulous guest tonight. I'm absolutely thrilled, excited about this one, aren't we?
Very.
Yes. That's Terry, yes.
Yeah, very.
Very good.
Really excited.
Just wondering what you three would be like together at the back. I'm just imagining that at the moment. Please welcome our special guest, Tony Mowbray! Mogga, welcome to the show. It's great to see you. How are you doing at the moment?
I'm good. Thank you very much, Mark. I had scan results this week, actually. I had a scan in Manchester only last Friday, and everything's good, all clear. Get on with things,
fantastic,
really.
Brilliant, brilliant. And are you enjoying the championship season with a couple of your teams, or three of your teams right up the top there?
Yeah, listen, I spent quite a bit of this season not being able to go to football matches, but over the recent last few months I've gone to a lot. I obviously live on Teesside. I go and watch Middlesbrough, team I played for 12 years. Haven't won any of the last 5 home games. Very frustrating for them because they play really, really nice football. They dominate the ball, a lot of possession, a lot of play around the opposition box. But haven't got a natural goal scorer who wants to score 20 or 30 goals a season. So, yeah,
sounds
it's been
familiar.
Tough. I love coming to Ipswich Town, and I spent 9 years of my career there, 4 or 5 playing the game, and 4 or 5 helping George initially, and then Joe Royal before I went off to Hibernian in Scotland. It's great watching the championship. I do find some Premier League games a little bit almost stale, difficult to watch. Too possession based at times. I think too many square backwards passes, using the goalkeeper, keeping possession of the ball. I think the championship's a little bit rawer than that, and I enjoy the championship. I've managed a lot in the championship over the years, and it's a league I know well, and I enjoy watching it. I'm as I said earlier, there, feeling all right in myself now, and itching probably to get back in the right time and the right place.
Tony, if we were playing as a back three, me on the right, you in the middle, and Terry on the left, I would not be passing you the ball very often, and I wouldn't be passing it to Terry very often, and I wouldn't want it myself very often. I would want to see it down the other end of the pitch where the better players are and where the goal scorers are. So I don't understand the game these days. Personally, I don't really want to see Dara O'Shea roll the ball about under his foot for 60 minutes.
No.
I can't see you doing that.
No, and I wouldn't. And to be honest, when I'm managing teams, I play low risk build up, and I call it, and I talk to the team about low risk build up. If teams are sitting off here and not got 6 men around the edge of the box and you're taking a goal kick, we generally play. We'd push one of our bigger, better headers of the ball slightly wider, stick him up against the fullback, and drop a diagonal, get the midfield runners, get the other striker running in behind, and use that as a start point, not take a short goal kick in our box and see if we can use the goalie as the spare man and bounce it out, because invariably you're asking for trouble. And so that's what I do, and that's just a philosophy I take to clubs, and I think players either buy into it or they don't. Generally they do. You have to win football matches as a coach, as a manager, don't you? And if you win football matches, the players generally buy into it. And if I've got players of the quality of Manchester City or Arsenal who can bounce it around at the back. Listen, I'm sure you and Terry would have dealt with it no problem. You were both top international footballers, but the coach dictates that, and I do feel as if modern day footballers, has looked at Pep Guardiola's brilliant teams at Bayern Munich and at Barcelona, and he's come to Man City for the last 10 years and dominated the ball, and a lot of young coaches have taken all that on board. For me, let's play the game around the opposition box rather than our box, is how I play football. And if we can win enough games, you stay in the game a long time and you have longevity. If you don't, and you want to try and be a possession-based coach around your own box but keep losing the thing and it goes in your net, then you won't be in the job very long. So that's how I do it. I want my players to enjoy football and love the ball, of course, but I'm miles away from being a long ball coach, but if teams are playing high pressing, I haven't got an ego that thinks, we're going to pass through these.
Yeah. Well, if I was playing with a back four, with me on the right, you right side centre half, Terry left side centre half, and that bloke Venus.
Yeah,
I think we'd have to stick him at left back. And I had 3 years with him alongside me at Leicester City. I won't be passing him the ball either.
Don't.
Yeah,
I think Vino quite likes his left foot. I think he can hit a brilliant ball. He's got a wonderful left foot, but again, he. Listen, I just, my own beliefs, as I've stressed there, I don't play from the back. I play low risk build up, and I understand why the top coaches, if you're Pep Guardiola and you've got the best players in the world, you can entice people to press you to get through that press and to try and create overloads at the top end of the pitch. I fully understand it. But if you don't have the best players in the world, why are you trying to do the same things that the coach who does have the best players? Why are you trying to do that? And I don't.
So what you're saying, and what I fully endorse, is that Pep Guardiola is guilty of murdering football and should stand trial.
And that's it's a bit strong, and I wouldn't say that. And yet I would
say it. Don't worry about that.
No, but I've read articles that German football almost blames him for changing the whole game in the German league as well, going to Bayern and playing this brand of football, which is breathtaking at times. It's amazing to watch, but you do have to have the players to do it, to be able to suck the opposition onto you, to play through them and round them. I think 95% of the teams can't play like Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Man City play. And I think the coaches fall into a trap of thinking that they can and thinking they can coach it. And yet, time after time, you see every weekend goals where goalkeepers are playing short, straight passes, edge of the box, somebody's intercepting and it's in the back of his net. I don't think Pep worries about how he indoctrinates other coaches. They can watch him, they can try and learn. He has to do what he believes in. But invariably, being one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the world, he has the best teams and he has the best players. My intelligence, if that's the right word, tells me I'm at football clubs when I'm coaching that doesn't have the best players in the world. So let's not try and do something that they could do and pop it out, one touch round the corner, flick it outside of my foot into the midfield player who plays round the corner into the striker, and off they go. You're inviting pressure, and so I prefer to, like we all did in the 80s and the 90s, play off the striker or play off the wide player who's got a lovely spring and can flick it on for the centre forward running in behind, and use that as your start point. Because even if he doesn't win the header, the ball's still 60 yards from your goal, and then play. I think it's a crime to the game to lose the ball in your own box from a goal kick. So you've had 2 or 3 passes, gone back to the goalie twice. He plays a silly pass, they intercept it and score. And why would you do that? It's you work hard enough in football and run enough to not give them goals for nothing.
I think it's. You say plays amazing football, but to watch the amazing football, you've actually got to be awake in the first place. And I think a lot of people would be asleep because they just get bored by it. I know what you're saying.
Well,
do you think as well, if someone actually had the bottle to say, right, I'm going to play 4-4-2, offensively 4-4-2, defensively for sort of 4-5-1 when one of the strikers just drops back in. I think that would have greater impact and for more entertainment and more chances and more goals and everything else.
Entertainment.
Yeah. And I tell you, I do think that some managers are out there trying for. But most managers play 4-4-2 out of possession. I think I do. If you play the back four out of possession, if you're not going to press the ball on the loss of possession or try and regain it really high, drop it to 4-4-2. It's the best shape. It fills the spaces on the pitch. I think you do have to get people across. And so if they're coming out with their right back, you all slide across a little bit and you leave their left side of the pitch a little bit and try and encourage them to play through you, nick it and break from there. I've always played out of possession when we've lost the ball 4-4-2, unless we played against a team that are trying to build really in their own box and we are pressing. I play man for man on the back line, so I would push one of my centre halves in, I'd push one of the midfield players on and leave one centre half against the striker. That's how I like to do it. I like to play front foot football. But yeah, listen, that's why we all study the game. That's why analysts are so imperative in every football club. A football club manager's job is half of it is in an office watching the opposition for the next game and how are they building, where's their threats, is there an opportunity for you to push an extra man into your press to try and take it off them because they're going to do it whatever, and then you sell the product to the team and you tell them how you're going to win the game, and that's how modern day football is in my opinion. But yeah, I've got no issues with 4-4-2 and playing off a big striker with a fast one running in behind and your wide players, depending how you're playing it, whether they're going to dive in behind as well and who's going to sit and stop the transitions. Yeah. But listen, you know, and I know the game's full of now of rotating your full-backs inside and pushing one of your sitting midfield players on to become a running 8 or a 10. And I find it all fascinating and I love watching it and I love trying to manage teams to give them problems or to stop them hurting us. I think that's part of the job. That's what you do. As I said, long hours spent with analysts watching how the opposition play, how you're going to stop
and
them.
Tony, you really want to go back into that, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, it's in the blood, and I know the madness of football. What I would say to you is modern day ownership models are a problem. I've had a few phone calls over the last month or so and spoken to some ownership models, and it all seems to be very data driven. Even AI is becoming a tool in the game now, where AI is telling the ownership models what team would give you the best chance of winning the game. And yet, as I've said to some people, I'm on the grass every day working with the players, feeling their personalities, who's driven, who's very lackadaisical, who's doesn't seem quite focused, there's something not quite right at home or whatever it is. And yet they're saying to me, well, AI would have had this team and you would have had a 5% better chance of winning. And I'm going, well, listen, mate, I'm not interested in AI. I've been around footballers for 40 years and I've got to feel the ones with the passion, with the emotion, with the adrenaline. That's how I manage, really. And yet modern day football ownership models are taking that away from you a little bit and trying to stress to you what teams should be and which players should be preferred to others.
OK. We're going to bring it back to Ipswich Town now. We've got lots to squeeze in tonight. We're going to bring the highlights of our last match at Portman Road, courtesy of our friends at Town TV. Let's have a look at this.
With the final international break of the season done and dusted, it's time for Ipswich to return to championship action. There are 6 other 3 o'clock kickoffs that we will keep you up to date with. But here at Portman Road, we're underway. Ipswich kicking from left to right as O'Shea search towards the left side for Ben Johnson. Here's Matasiwa. Nunes can't quite reach it, but the ball breaks for Nunes. Now McAteer lining one up just over the crossbar. Point the piece for Portsmouth, Oxford United, as the ball sent in from this left side. Vicente there, and then it's stabbed goalwards and deflected out and behind for a corner kick, first corner kick of the game. Greaves gets it back and then returns it to Johnson. Johnson thinks about bursting forward, but under pressure plays it to Dan Neil, and Neil sent it inch perfect across to this right side, and now McAteer is bursting in field on his left into Hurst, and the ball just gets away from him. Couldn't control it inside the penalty area, but lovely build-up play from Ipswich towards George Hurst. Hurst again battling away with the women. That's a good advantage played by the referee, and then Nunes trying to find McAteer, and McAteer can't quite reach it ahead of Panzo. Furlong playing it back to Greaves, and Johnson works it onto his right foot and then plays it forward to Jack Clark, and Clark is able to turn away from Solis, trying to burst forward here, keeps the ball away from Neumann. Neil, Hurst left side, just outside the penalty area, into the box now. George Hurst trying to fire it across, and he's won a corner kick for his side. In comes the delivery from Clark, and Beadle looks to punch away, and then Nunes with the acrobatic effort. Danger not clear, and now it is by John Solis.
You know, I think Town could just try up it a little bit more.
Here is Hurst with the chest control into McAteer. McAteer denied by Beadle. Just didn't quite catch it clean enough, Casey McAteer. As Birmingham come forward now, and it's Stansfield, and Vicente sweeps it home. Birmingham go down the other end to score and open the scoring here at Portman Road. Neil, McAteer, now here is Nunes, lifting his head, finding Jack Clark, Clark in space, trying to twist away from Vicente and Solis. He's got support from McAteer on the right side. Clark into Mehmeti with the touch, trying to get beyond Clara, and then McAteer pressurising Gray. Loose ball's going to drop for Furlong here inside the box, and it's Johnson at the back post, and it's turned away. The whistle blows, Ipswich are level. Referee Adam Herzeg got the notification on his watch, the ball crossed the line. Johnson bundling it into the back post. It's an instant impact, and it's Mehmeti twisting and turning inside the box. Nunes playing into Clark in the build-up, but the finishing touch from Johnson round the back. The attempted clearance came in, but the ball across the line, and it's Ipswich 1, Birmingham City 1.
What we just spoke about, obviously great ball in there from Furlong, just too high for the right back. It doesn't matter how it goes in, but we were just speaking about Nunes and Mehmeti.
Can't quite work the ball away from Panzo. He's going to try and win it back from Panzo, and he's helped by McAteer, who bursts into the challenge. Nunes into Clark. Clark has options ahead of him, sliding it forward for Hurst. McAteer into the penalty area, scores! Brilliant goal for Ipswich Town. Brilliant goal from Casey McAteer. What a moment for him.
Just what he deserves.
The Ipswich players to a man, celebrating with Casey McAteer on this near side. The willingness to get back in there, to get back in that position, to link up with George Hurst. And this time he produces the finish under James Beadle. His first Ipswich goal. What a moment for him at Portman Road. What a wonderful work goal as well from Town.
And that all comes from Casey winning the ball back.
Here is Furlong. Furlong skips out, McAteer plays it forward to Mehmeti inside the penalty area, trying to cut it back towards Hurst. Corner kick. Incidentally, 6 minutes have been added on at the end of this first half. We've played 1 minute and 40. Nunes to deliver from the near side, and it comes, there's the header from Hurst. The Beadle is able to catch through Casey McAteer's first Town goal, and here is McAteer found by Clark. McAteer sliding it into Mehmeti. Mehmeti firing it low across goal, but Beadle is able to gather. He's moving a bit gingerly, Casey McAteer, as Nunes picks up the loose ball in the centre circle. McAteer trying to race in there, and McAteer might be in again. McAteer inside the penalty area, just wide. Bit of a missed kick from the Ipswich captain. Iwata onto the loose ball in midfield. Vicente sliding it into Stansfield right side, and Walton sprung to his right. As we see the long throw come in from the left side. O'Shea heading away in front of the front post. Ned manages to chop it across to Solis. Solis just manages to escape McAteer, and then it's a shot towards the near post, which Christian Walton was equal to.
That is the hard thing for George. George is expecting the first one coming from Greaves, and then he has to try get back across the other side of the attack. It's a lot of running for a solo striker.
Here's Osman into the penalty area now, getting to the byline, and
Offside.
it's, I think, out of play maybe. Osman has maybe run the ball out of play as he cut it back. It was off O'Shea and ended up in the back of his own net. Ibrahim Osman, he can't believe the decision, but the assistant referee on this near side, very quick to flag. Philogene prepares to deliver, and it comes towards O'Shea, helps it goalwards, and I just thought for a moment it was going to drop into the corner, not quite. Can't get a hold of it. Dutch plays it across to Solis. Neil snapping back. Mehmeti strong. Iwata out to Osman on the left side. Osman lines one up, and Walton saves it onto the post, and then the block comes in. Fantastic save from Walton, and then the block, I think it was Greaves. In comes the delivery from deep on the left. Walton gathers, brilliant goalkeeping. Mehmeti just standing in the way of Christoph Clara. The final whistle blows. It's a big win for Ipswich Town. It's a comeback win for Ipswich Town. For the first time in 2 years, Ipswich from behind win a game.
Well, thanks to our friends at Town TV for that. That really was, MOGGA, a game of two halves. Certainly Town in the front in the first half, and really backpedalling second.
Yeah, listen, I haven't seen that. I went to Blackburn and West Brom at the weekend, so that was the first time I've seen that. It's interesting. Jack Clark, obviously a player I had at Sunderland, drifting in off the left there, getting into the 10 position, getting turns, sliding, Hurst in to slip for the first goal there. It's listen, I was at there a couple of weeks ago. I was at the Millwall game. I think they're a good football team. I like watching Ipswich. I think they've got individuals who can damage, but I'm not sure who the top goal scorer is this year and how many goals he's got. Whether it might be Jack Clark. Is it? Well, there you go. Your left winger really is. I know he comes inside as your left back, bombs on, but ideally you need a centre forward scoring 20 goals. If you're going to get promoted, you need a centre forward with 25 to 30 goals, ideally. But and I think, listen, I obviously managed Birmingham when I found out about my illness. I was at Birmingham, and it's a club on the up, on the rise. That they'll probably be slightly disappointed with their mid-table position at the moment, because I'm pretty sure they would have thought they could have done a little bit like Wrexham have done and threatened the top six. A positive result for Ipswich. From the evidence I saw there, probably deserved it on the day. Dan Neil, I see Dan Neil there as well. I think it's a wonderful signing. I thought he played well against Millwall when I was there, and did some lovely passes in that bit of footage I've just seen. Ultimately, who knows what it's going to finish like? Looking at the table today, without seeing the fixtures that are coming, you would think Ipswich are favourites. They've got 2 games in hand on Borough, and yet I've looked at they've got 5 away games and 2 at home, and one of them home games is against Middlesbrough. They've got to go to Southampton, they've got to go to Norwich. It looks a really tough fixture list, and how it all pans out at the end, let's wait and see. It looks to me as if Ipswich have got to win one of the really tough games, the Norwich game, the Middlesbrough game, the Southampton game. I think they'll have enough to beat Portsmouth and Charlton, and West Brom have found a little bit of form, unbeaten in 6, I think now. I keep an eye on that, obviously, because that was my last club. James Morrison's in caretaker, player I signed for West Brom 18 years ago. And you finish at QPR at home. Let's think it could come down to that last day, and I'm pretty sure if you have to win on the last day, you will win. And exciting, and let's wait and see. And as a lad from Middlesbrough, excited for Borough as well, and they've got to go to Ipswich and try and get a result. And But yeah, it's all to play for, I would suggest, with 5 or 7 as Ipswich have got games to go.
Terry, what did you make of that performance? It was a game of two halves, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, you can see the nerves in the second half because Birmingham sort of changed around a little bit and they were far more offensive. When I've seen the highlights, especially, I saw it actually live, and you look at it and you say, well, I think Walton made some good saves, and the ball stuck to him very well. And but for his save and tipped it on the post, it was from Osman. It was really funny seeing an Osman on left wing, to be honest. But he's got a sweet left foot, a sweet right foot, yeah. But no, it was good. But we said the programme last week, and we've been saying it for a while now. It's not about performances; it's about winning. It's about getting, finding a way, as Tony says, to win the football match. Maybe different systems, maybe different personnel coming on, fresh legs, etc., etc. You've got to find a way, and we found a way to win it. And I think we saw the game out. It's the first win, with a comeback win that we've had for 2 years. So that shows a lot of resilience.
Astonishing, isn't it?
We're on a good run at the moment as well, and that resilience as well is backs it up. So yeah, I think absolute search to be second,
Okay.
not first, second.
Nice to have a referee's assistant on our side, Russell.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. Just a little bit surprised that Mr. McKenna said he didn't see it at the end of the game. I think he could have just said, yes, we got away with one there. And yeah.
I mean, over a season, it evens itself out, doesn't it? We've had some bad decisions in the last few games, so it evens itself out, doesn't it?
It does even itself out, and it always will do. That's the nature of the game. But all in all, I think, like Terry was saying, they were very good first half. Call it nerves, call it not changing things around a little bit second half to make things easier for you. We still like to stick to our game plan, even if teams are making it even more difficult for us, which they did in the second half. But the only thing that counts is getting the points, and it was a massive 3 points when you start looking at the next 2 away games, and it's going to be the same with the Middlesbrough game at home, with 3 away games after that. The massive these home games, you've got to make sure that you put them to bed properly.
Okay, right. Well, it's time to choose this week's Player of the Week, sponsored by GBS Builders. Russell, where would you go?
I'm going to go for young Casey McAteer.
Okay.
Because he got 1 goal, but he could very easily have had a hat-trick, at least. And he kept getting in there, his work rate was good, and he's been putting his shift in, and you can see by the reaction from the rest of the players, they quite like him and they were pleased for him, so fair play.
Okay. Terry?
Yeah, McAteer.
Okay. McAteer.
I haven't seen a lot from McAteer to really excite me, but that was his best game by a mile. And you all the top goal scorers and people, they play in a forward position. You're judged on the amount of goals you get or the assists and everything else. So he'll feel a lot better now. Now he's got that one out of the way, and you're looking forward, to him springing forward and making sure that he steps it up. But it was good. He caused the fullback a lot of problems, and he got taken off at half time, I think. That's why they changed things around. But yeah, his contribution was really good. Not quite a Sarmiento, because it was the comeback win, did 2 years ago, but good enough to get the winner.
And he's had a lot of stick from the fans, hasn't he, as well?
Mm.
Well, he has.
He's had a lot of stick from us as well, I think.
Well, possibly, yeah.
There's a big price tag on him when he came here, and I think everybody was expecting him just to leap forward with the form that he had at Leicester, that they wanted that £12 million price tag. But listen, he's doing well. He's stuck in there. He's got his head down. He's done the hard work, and he's always been available, and he's always tried to put a shift in. And you can only play as well as you can play on the day.
Okay. And MOGGA, from what you just saw on the highlights reel there, would you give it to him as well?
Well, I'm happy to back up that the lads watched it live. I think having managed against Ipswich, playing the way they play, bring the left winger inside to create a second number 10, push the left back high, always leave the right winger out to stay high and wide, really. It's probably took some time arriving at the club to adapt to what the role is that he has to do. And he looked a threat through those clips, scored a goal. I've got good friends who live in the Ipswich area, and people tell me most weeks about what Ipswich are good at and what they're not good at. And this kid that you've just said there has taken quite a bit of stick from the people who tell me what Ipswich game was like. And pleased for him that he's gone on and scored there and had some chances. And maybe he's just taking time to adapt to the system that he's been asked to play. But yeah, please, listen, I just hope Ipswich can maintain it, and it comes down really close between Borough and Ipswich, who's going to finish second. But, I do look, both will be looking over the shoulders at Southampton, who've won, 4-5 on the bounce and unbeaten in quite a lot of games now. So, yeah, it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, good finish to the end of the season. We are incredibly well placed. It's in our hands now. Coventry are all but up, so everything's in the mix. Let's talk about the next game against the scum, Norwich City. Moggy, you've got a good memory of one particular game when you played them.
Yes, I have. We won 5-0. Alex Matthew got a hat-trick. Bobby Petter, who I played with at Celtic, scored 2 as well. We won 5-0. Happy days. I'm pretty sure there was some defeats along the way in my 4 years of playing at Ipswich. But 5-0. It was a great day. And let's hope they can find something similar to that at the weekend.
Alex Matthew reckons he's got the match ball from that. No, he hasn't, because we've got it. So this was picked up off, Russell's got it there, that was picked up off the roof of one of the stands. Yeah. So that is actually from that match, the 5-0 game.
It was a Tony Mowbray clearance.
Yeah, well, I think one of yours, Mogga.
Yeah, probably.
Or Tony Mowbray header.
Gosh.
Yeah, a little souvenir for us in the studio that was donated to us. Obviously, we've got to talk about Norwich because they are... Feel free to boo every time I mention Norwich, it's fine. But Russ, they are on fire at the moment, aren't they? And, change of manager, some really good signings, and they're playing some very attractive football. It's not a great time to be playing them.
No, they're playing okay. I don't think we've got anything to worry about, though. We've just got to go there, play our own game and just get on with it. They're not the most informed team in the league. I think Southampton are the informed team there that we'll have to worry about when we go down there. But a derby game's a derby game, and it doesn't matter whether you're second off the top or mid-table or 2 off the bottom. All that goes out the window on a derby day, and it's just all about passion.
Their fans are quite smug at the moment. I spoke to, believe it or not, Captain Canary today, our tame Norwich City fan, who couldn't make it tonight because they're doing something with peas on the farm. I don't know what they're doing with peas on the farm. He didn't really explain that, but otherwise he'd have been here as our token Norwich fan. But they are quite smug at the moment.
Well, your Canary is very deflated, Mark, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah. We burst it, didn't we, when we got promoted? Yeah, very good.
They're not in the top 6 yet at the moment, are they?
No.
Well, there we are. How can they be smug? Because at the end of the day, they're crap. So, I mean, but the only thing is, I would say, it's been a real banana skin for us. I think, what was it? The last victory there was 2006. I think is that right?
Well,
yeah. Well, some statuers will probably tell me I'm wrong, but it was a long time. Right. It was a long time coming. And it'd be nice to win. It'd be nice to win there. And I think that would propel us then to get in second place.
Does Nunez start, or does he come off the bench?
He's got to start. Yeah, he's got to start him.
I take a point and I start him and just get on with it.
Don't lose the game.
Okay.
Don't lose the game. I think if we get that first goal, I think we won't lose the game. He'd probably go on to score more. But I think it suits Ipswich because Norwich come at you. Nobody booed there right away. But no, never mind. So the scum come at you. So therefore, you've got to, we have the pace and ability to pick them off. And I think that's crucial. The more the game goes on and it's level, the more chance we have of winning it.
Can I just say that the reason we call them the Scummers is because they call us the Binners, because they reckon we all dress up like dustmen. We walk around as if we're dustmen. Nothing wrong with dustmen, but that's where it all comes from. We're called the Binners, apparently.
Well, I'd rather be called a dustman than scum, to be honest.
Well, maybe it's something to do with the ring around the bath. I have no idea what it's all about. You obviously were aware of it, Mogga, just how important it is to the fans. It still really is. Every derby game is, but this one in particular for us, obviously.
Yeah. I think it heightens it because of the tightness at the top of the table and the aspirations to try and finish second. I think they've just got to go and be positive, like they are. I'm assuming in every away game. Norwich, the change of manager's been really positive for them, of course. A Glasgow Rangers ex-manager, to be honest. And so, for me, I hope extra that Ipswich can go and get the job done. But you'd have to say he's done a great job to turn around a team that had lost. Did they lose the first 6 or 7 home games of the season? Great credit to him. But I genuinely sit here and think that Ipswich, if they're positive and have the belief and confidence, they can go there and dominate and win the football match.
Yeah, but derby games are great, Tony, aren't they? You must have played in a load up there.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Well,
atmosphere.
the emotion, the adrenaline that flows through them are the players. That they're so aware of it all week in the build-up and nights like tonight, if they see any of the footage of how passionate and emotional the supporters are about this game, and the players understand that. I've always thought that, in yet modern day football, there's I don't know any Ipswich players from Ipswich, any Norwich players from Norwich. It's so them days seem to be long gone, and yet the people, the supporters who really are emotional and passionate about this game, want their players and want their team to give every ounce that they've got, and I think both teams will at the weekend. My view is that Ipswich have probably got more individuals that can win the game in what will be a tight game, because they're so committed. You just need one player to have one bit of magic, and hopefully a Jack Clark or a Philogene or whoever brings that extra little bit of magic and can score a goal out of nothing and win the game for Ipswich.
Well, it'd be delirious if it happened, wouldn't it? Be absolutely brilliant. Team of the season's been announced. Butch, you were moaning about this earlier on.
Yeah, team of the season, the Championship and all the other leagues, the EFL and the managers as well. And we don't have a representative in the teams or in the management, which I think second in the table is a total disgrace. Absolutely. I mean, I know it's a team game and all that sort of thing, but we have someone like Jack Clark on the left wing. Not many wingers get nominated or score the goals. And there was a player played for Remy Aziz for Millwall, and he's in the frame for the team of this the team of the season. He's absolute crap because he played against us and he was absolutely woeful. I mean, I think he was taken off after about 65 minutes, but he should have been taken off after 15 because he was absolutely pants. Okay. So yeah,
sit on the fence as always, Butch.
Yeah, I don't know where they get this from, but they have the awards on something like the 19th of April or something like that, Tony. And it's like the season's not finished yet. For goodness' sake, someone could score a couple of hat tricks and get the team up.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm really surprised there's no Ipswich players in that. They are sitting second in the league and they've been there and up there around it all season. It's I'm not sure why that is. I haven't seen the team, to be honest, so I don't know who's in that team. But I don't know. I don't watch Ipswich Town every week. I see their results, but the games I've seen, I think. Is it Leif Davis, your left back? He plays like a left winger. He's always bombing on, full of energy. I don't know how many assists he's had this season, but and Jack Clark, as you say, to score the goals that he does.
But Tony, look, everybody, we've beat Coventry twice, and we absolutely hammered them on 2 occasions. And everybody's saying Coventry are the best team in the league, and we've murdered them. It's like 81 when we beat the Villa.
Yeah,
bastards. We beat them three times. 3 times we beat them, and yet we never won it. But I'm talking drivel about the team and all that, team of the season, all that sort of thing. But it matters. I think we deserve more recognition, to be honest.
Well, let's hope we get it in promotion. Quick word about ITFC women. They lost 1-0 to Palace, so they had a little resurgence, didn't they? But they need to really crack on if they're going to stay in the league. I want to talk about you, Tony, if I can. You saw earlier on when we were talking before we went on air, you spotted that I was sitting behind Beattie's bar, and there is the statue of the Beat here. And you were remembering when you played alongside the legend at Borough.
I was, yeah. He was like a Rolls Royce. Even then, I was a great admirer of just the power that Kevin Beattie brought. I'm not sure how old he was when he came to Borough, but just to see him leap and head it, he could head it further than I could kick it. It was he was amazing to see, and he was such a nice guy. He was. I was a pretty youngish guy then, and Beat came and played alongside me, and yet I was in awe of how. It was a bit like we had Colin Todd at some stage when Rioch took over. Colin Todd came as well. It was very similar to Beat. You could see what a brilliant footballer he had been, and Beat was. What couldn't he do? He was sheer power. He could head it, as I say, further than I could kick it. He could jump like a salmon. He was quick as off the mark. He was lightning off the mark. What couldn't he do? And it makes me think how brilliant the footballers must have been. I look at modern day football, and I was saying that the other night. It's how good would all these players have been on the pitches that they play on today? You think of Georgie Best. The first game I ever saw was at 1973. I think it was a cold strike, and the floodlights were off at Ayresome Park, and so the game kicked off on a school night on a Wednesday, somewhere at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and my dad took me out of school to go and watch George Best. And you think about the pitches were like in those days. You think of the baseball ground, and you look at the pitches in the Premier League today. How good would those players be? And so Kevin Beattie, how good would Kevin Beattie be today on the pitches and stuff like that? How strong and powerful and dominant he would be. I feel very honoured to have played with him. Malcolm brought him. Malcolm was like a celebrity manager, wasn't he, with his big fedora and stuff for Crystal Palace, and went to Man City. And he obviously knew we didn't have a very good team with us. He'd never asked us to do anything special. He would tell me to steady it and kick it and get it in the corner. But Beat came and was great for me. He would talk to me constantly about what he thought I was doing right and wrong. And I loved Kevin Beattie. He came and made a big impact on a young Tony Mowbray. Yeah.
I've got a page here from an Ipswich Town programme from 2000-2001, of course the season that you got promoted. And there's a did you know fact here. MOGGA played the same England B side as Paul Gascoigne. Tony played in matches against Norway, Switzerland and Iceland in May '89, with Gazza also featuring in 2 of those games. Now, Butch, you've got a whole library full of Gazza stories, haven't you? I wondered, MOGGA, if you'd got one of your own.
Gazza, goodness me. So I think it was like to see who would go to the World Cup in 1990. And so Gary Palace was there, Steve Bull was there, and Paul was obviously there. The story from that trip, we played 3 games. We were in Iceland, and it was hailstoning, and it was freezing cold, and they had Miss Iceland on the middle of the pitch, and they had a big brass band all around with the big trombones and the drums and everything. And Gazza was trying to chip the ball into the trombone, and he was getting ball off the ball, so the lads were warming up and trying to keep warm, and Gazza was getting the balls off all the lads and trying to chip it into the trombone right in the middle of this big brass band. If you picture the brass band like 10 across and 10 deep, and a big guy with a big trombone and he hit it twice, I think, but it didn't actually drop into the trombone. But that's my Gazza story. He's chipping the balls into the brass band in Iceland, but trying to get it into the trombone and saying, look at this, let's see. And he hit it twice, it just didn't drop in. But he scored an amazing goal that day, actually. We won 1-0 away in Iceland, and Gazza picked it up on the edge of our box, beat about 7 men round the goalie, and just walked it over the line. He was an amazing footballer. With his arms as much. He used to dribble and palm people off with left arm, right arm, but he was an amazing kid. He's, I feel very honoured to have played with Paul Gascoigne. I'm sure. On the
same page in this programme, MOGGA, right?
Yeah.
Tony Mowbray has joined the Town Fund by picking from, and it's a Q&A that you did in 2000, okay? And I just wonder whether you've got I'm going to test you out now to see whether this works, or you've got somebody else to do it, which is what we think Jason Dazelle got his brother to do it when he did this. So, marmalade or jam? What did you choose?
I would have picked jam, surely.
Correct. John Motson or Barry Davis?
Probably Motti. I don't know.
Real Madrid or Barcelona?
year was this?
2000.
God, it was a bit well before. Barcelona in later
Correct.
days.
Correct. Correct. Coca-Cola or lemonade?
Oh God knows. What am I guessing at?
Coca-Cola or lemonade? It's a crucial one.
Let's lemonade.
Coca-Cola. Oh.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. John McGreal or Ally McBeal?
I must have said John McGreal.
You did. Yes, you did.
Fully.
Elton
Yeah.
John or Ben Elton?
Oh gosh. Comedy rather than singing. I don't know. You tell me. Ben Elton.
Elton John.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Biology or geography?
Geography.
Correct. This is like Mastermind, isn't it? White Hart Lane or Highbury?
Oh, I scored at White Hart Lane. I don't think I ever scored at Highbury. But listen, they were both great stadiums. Highbury's probably
Correct.
more.
Highbury.
Highbury's
Mercedes-Benz or Porsche?
Oh, I was driving a Mercedes-Benz at
Correct.
the time.
Well done.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Italian or Chinese? There's only a couple more. Italian or Chinese?
Oh, God. Now Italian.
Correct. Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise?
Oh, gosh. Did I say Tom Hanks?
You
No?
did.
Yeah.
Well done.
Good. I did all right, didn't I?
Clearly, you filled that out yourself, and not like Dozza, who got his brother to do it for him. We think he was miles
That's
away on that.
outrageous.
Miles away. Of course, your first taste of management was at Town, wasn't it? And there have been lots of rumours over the years that there might have been a chance of you coming back as a full-time manager. Can you tell us anything about that?
No, I've never had any contact with anybody at Ipswich Town about the job at any given time when it was up. No, I'm just grateful. I felt, I wanted to be a football manager from probably the age of 22, which seems a bit strange, because at 22 I was captain of Middlesbrough and they'd just come out of liquidation, and Bruce Rioch came, and Bruce Rioch was the first coach ever, and I'd had Jack Charlton, I'd had Malcolm Allison before then. Rioch was the first manager who made me think about space on the pitch, and strikers coming deep and wingers diving across the line, and people running into space beyond, and how to create space. And and I'd always wanted to be a football manager. I got a chance for 4 games when George left. But yeah, when the opportunity came, basically I was driving to work one day. I was working with Joe and Willie Donachie, and the phone rang, and it was the chairman at Hibernian, and I think he'd got my name because I'd done my pro licence in 2000. I actually missed the open top bus trip around Ipswich because I was getting my pro licence awarded that day. So as I was finishing my football career, I'd already got the top coaching award at St George's or wherever. Yeah, I think it was St George's Park. It was up and running by then. But it's.
Would you have liked to have come here and managed?
Hibernian came along, and I thankfully I inherited a really young team with Scott Brown and Kevin Thompson, a lot of young players who were very open to be influenced, really. And my thoughts on space on the pitch and how to play and how to be brave with the ball and how to play forward and run forward, I was able to put it into action, really. And on the back of 3 great years there, I got offered the job at West Bromwich Albion and had a good, decent time there. We won the league. We got to the semi-final of the FA Cup at Wembley, and we had a good time. And then Celtic came calling, and I know Terry wants to talk about Celtic and Rangers.
I think let's bring that up briefly now, Butch.
No, I'm not going to mention them either. No. There's another club I'd call a scum, but I went to. I had got my my pro license, and I went to manage Hibs. And unlike you, I inherited a squad that was absolute rubbish. And I have to say it was the highlight of my managerial career because I got them relegated.
Oh gosh, I felt very fortunate, Terry, to be honest, that I probably fell on this group of Brown and Thompson and Whittaker. And Derek Ryden, Gary O'Connor, Stephen Glass was the bit of experience in there, but and we just added a few bits to it really. David Murphy, the left back, I knew from Borough as a young reserve player, and Dean Shields came in, Guillaume Bouzelan from France came in, and I enjoyed the football. I think they enjoyed expressing their talent really, and it's amazing when you can take a young team to Ibrox or to Celtic Park and win a game. And I remember the story of Gary O'Connor, not happy that I'd substituted him after 60 minutes with Ivan Sproul at Ibrox, and at 0-0, and he said to me, "What's he going to do that I can't do?" And within 7 minutes, Sproul had scored a hat-trick. And yeah, it's just so funny, really, that Gary, almost sitting behind me saying, Gaffer, what's he going to do that I couldn't do? And literally within 7 minutes, Ivan Sproul had scored a hat-trick. A young kid we took from Ireland for a bag of balls and a kit, a set of strips, a kit, and. Yeah, listen, those great days with young players who want to learn and want to get better and want to improve and want to go and play for Celtic and for Rangers, like Thompson played for Rangers and Ryden and Brown went to Celtic. Whittaker went to Norwich, actually, I think, didn't he? Yeah, it was good to see their careers flourish. Stephen Fletcher, who I watched a documentary on Stephen Fletcher the other day, was 17 when I first took over at Hibs, and what a career he had. So, yeah.
Well, we can see very clearly why management means so much to you. We would have loved you at Portman Road, wouldn't we? Yeah. I think all the fans would have loved you at Portman Road, and your name has been floated around amongst the fans on many, many occasions. Just a very quick word, because we've got a lot still to squeeze in about 10 minutes or so. Very quick word about the playoff final at Wembley. What a match. Right, yeah. Well, nerves, it's not, you don't go to Wembley very often. I'd been, I think once before, but I led Middlesbrough out in a Zenit Data Systems. So to go to Wembley and then if you look at that goal that I scored that day, the equaliser, it's just like sheer everything a young boy wants to do in his life. As a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old in the back garden, commentating your own goals. They're always at Wembley Stadium, and there I was. I just headed a ball at the back stick and scored and equalised for the team, and didn't know what to do really. I was maybe might have been 37 at the time, and yet was like a 10-year-old kid trying to celebrate, not knowing where to go, what to do with my arms, who to jump on, where to run. It was just amazing, really. Everything culminated in that one moment for me. The start of my career was playing against Kevin Keegan at St James's Park in my debut. Keegan and Shannon up front for Newcastle, and my very last game of professional football was at Wembley Stadium, where I helped Ipswich Town to get to the promised land and managed to score as well. And it felt like bookending the career that I enjoyed. And whilst it wasn't as illustrious as the gentleman on the sofa, it's still an amazing. Well, it's still a memory that we all cherish, isn't it? I think that Wembley game. So that's brilliant. So thank you. Thank you. And you're cemented in the legendary status of Portman Road. We'll come back to you in a moment, Tony, but it is time for this week's Ask the Legends. This is our quiz between Russell and Terry. You can interfere or help MOGGA if you wish. Terry is currently on 32 points. Russell is on 26. And I do believe, Terry, you go first this week.
Yep, I'll go away.
Home or away?
Away. Golf. The Masters starts tomorrow. Tonight's away question is, who won the Masters in 2024?
Who won the Masters in 2024? It's gone very quiet over there. Is this a library?
I think Russell would know, but I'll go Scheffler.
Yes.
Correct.
That was a guess, by the way.
34 points now. Russ, come on.
Oh, my God. Tony, I might need you.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Okay, then. So we're going right back to 61-62, the famous year we won Division 1. Who was Ipswich captain?
Oh, yes, I think I know that one. I've seen him at the Players' Reunion dinner a few times over the years.
Well, he's a legend. Of course he has been there. Yeah.
Yeah. So who was the captain of the team that won the First Division Championship?
Sorry, Russell, I wasn't born.
Oh, cheers, so no. Was it Tommy Carberry?
No. Go on then. Who was it?
Andy Nelson.
Andy Nelson.
No.
Yeah. There's a picture of him up there on the bus.
Which one is he?
There's a lot of people up there.
There's a lot of people up there.
Was Andy Nelson a central defender?
No.
See these questions that keep throwing at me, Mogga.
Centre half, yeah,
Unbelievable.
sorry, centre
Yeah,
half.
that is a tough question.
It is a tough one, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot tougher
sympathy
than
here, though,
Scottish
Mark.
Sheffield.
So anyway, Terry Butcher, 34. Russell Osman, 26.
Looks like you're going for promotion.
Time now for our game, Life's a Pitch and Putt, sponsored by Seckford Golf Club. How's your golf, Mogga?
Oh, you know what? I've played my first game of golf since recovering from my operation that I had in November. I played last week. It wasn't very good, to be honest. I've got some teenage sons who embarrass me with their talent at golf. They are shooting 76 and 78, and I'm shooting closer to 90, I think, around the 18 holes.
Not bad for 9 holes, Tone.
I enjoy it. I enjoy the competitive side of golf.
Well, we explained the game before we went on air to you. So you've seen the leaderboard. Scoey's in front with 160. There is a potential to get 600 points.
Wow.
And at the moment, Scoey's got 160. Vino's on there, I think. Your partner in crime, 75, I think he got. Yep. So some good names on there. Obviously, because you can't do it, what we're going to do is we're going to do like the old golden shot again, and we're going to spin the camera around. And whenever you see a likely candidate, would you just shout stop? Is that okay?
Yep.
So if we can start spinning the camera and listen for Tony.
Right. Stop. That gentleman sitting down. Let's do the gentleman sitting down.
Oh, Terry Butcher!
Oh no, sorry. Terry,
Come on, Butch.
Now, does he get 2 goes at this?
Come on, you're chosen. Come on.
What a responsibility.
Yeah, you are playing for Tony Mowbray. What did you get last time?
Terry.
He's on the board somewhere. Got 0 to start with, then you had a second go and you got a score, didn't you? So
Don't forget he played at Celtic.
That's all right. Looks like he's playing.
Oh! 50?
Hello.
Go on, keep that going. Oh.
100
roll.
so far.
Oh, he's hitting the post.
Come on, Terry.
Come on, you can do this, Butch. Oh. Come on.
Oh.
100 points.
Never mind.
Started off so
Never
well.
mind. Well done, T.
I'll tell you what, Mogga, that puts you ahead of Vino. Give him a call.
Sorry, Mogga. Sorry.
That's all right, mate. That was a good effort. Very good.
Well done. Brilliant stuff. It's time for On This Day in History. Here's Russell.
Okie dokie. Sit tight. It's going to be a long one. We're going to start Saturday the 8th of April 1978. Town travelled to Highbury to face West Bromwich Albion in the FA Cup semi-final, hoping to clinch their first appearance in the final of football's most famous domestic cup competition. Brian Talbot's header went in off the bar to give the Blues an early lead. Unfortunately, the industrious midfielder had to be taken off with a head wound as a result of his bravery. Skipper Mick Mills then struck the second on 20 minutes. Is that
Did he?
right?
I must have missed that one, I'll tell you.
Skipper Mick Mills then struck. Yeah, that's what it says. From Mick Lambert's corner as a Wembley day out looked a certainty. However, the plucky Baggies reduced the rears with a Tony Brown penalty. Bomber Brown. And it wasn't until the 86th minute that John Walk's thumping header booked Ipswich Town's ticket to London and a date with hot favourites Arsenal. Right, moving on. Wednesday, the 8th of April, 1981. Despite tremendous Ipswich pressure throughout, the Blues could only register a 1-0 victory against a dogged and defensive FC Cologne outfit in the UEFA Cup semi-final first leg tie at Pullman Road. The Germans, fielding England striker Tony Woodcock, capitulated to John Walk's 12th goal of the competition. A firm header again on 33 minutes from Mick Mills, or from Mick Mills's well-flighted cross. And they had a good side, didn't they? Dieter Muller and the Schumacher, the keeper. Yeah, strong
very
team.
good.
Monday, the 8th of April, 1985. Ipswich managed their first league win in 6 years at Carrow Road.
Hooray!
Doing the double over Norwich City with a 2-0 win. Terry Butcher and Mitch DeVray scored as City had Asa Harford sent off.
And that sent them down, by the way. That was great. What a feeling that was.
Just a little sub-note for the Tuesday, the 9th of April, 1895. At a special meeting of Ipswich Town Football Club, the chance to move into professional football was turned down due to the costs and the fact that football was to be played for fun and not to become a business.
That turned out well.
R.D. Hendry, a local businessman, was the lone voice to propose Town employ a professional team, but he was not successful. Oh. So he was turned down on that occasion. And that's all that happened on the 8th and 9th of April.
Excellent. Excellent. No Man v Fat results this week for you because they didn't play because it's the Easter break and they've been eating chocolate. So we'll find out how much damage that was next week. Quick final words about Norwich and the game. Mogga, can I get a prediction from you?
1-3, 3-1 win for Ipswich, I think.
Lovely. Lovely. Yeah, Russ?
I'm still going for a draw. A score draw.
Okay.
2-2.
2-2. It's going to be goals in it, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Terry?
6-1 Ipswich. But why not? Why not? We can dream.
Well, it's not beyond the realms. No. Not beyond the realms. And we've said all season we're going to batter somebody at some point, and we haven't,
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
So hopefully Saturday it will be it. Tony, look, it's been so good to have you on the show, and I'm glad things are going good for you health-wise. And I hope you find the team that you want to manage, because clearly it's something that's really inside you. And we just wish we'd have had you here at some point.
That's okay, but thank you very much. It's great to be on the same stage there as Terry and Russell. Amazing footballers, inspirational for anybody who loves the game. It's just to be around those people, and it's great that the football club are keeping them close. Really, it's amazing. It shows what a wonderful football club it is, and I feel very honoured to have put a very, very small mark on it with that goal at Wembley that took them to the Premier League that on that occasion, and or helped take them to the Premier League. But I wish them only well, and and if they get promoted in second in front of my local team, then good luck to them. And but my hope is that, along with Coventry, with look assured now that both Ipswich and Middlesbrough, one way or the other, both get promoted also.
Well, let's keep the
Thanks,
fingers
Tony.
crossed.
But we need you back in the game. It's not the same without you, because your views match our views to a certain degree, and
Are you pitching for a job, Butch?
No, not pitching for a job. I hope that Tony gets the
Defensive
job.
coach?
No, I hope that he gets the job. Because
No, I meant to be alongside him.
No, I'm not past that now. But no, it's because he's got such charisma, and he knows the game inside out, and he's so honest as well and passionate. So hope you get back soon, Tony.
Brilliant.
Cheers, pal. Thank you very
Everybody,
much.
Tony Mowbray. Thanks ever so much, Tony. Just a couple of things before we finish. Don't forget our end of season dinner. It's on May the 6th. You can go to www.lifesapitch.tv and you can book your tickets on there. We're having loads of Ipswich Town players for the end of season dinner. It's raising money for Combat 2 Coffee. And don't forget, our other charity is Forget Me Not Golf, and you can sign up to play Forget Me Not Golf. Details are on the screen right now. If you are listening, then you can email professional@seckfordgolfclub.co.uk. It's not a golf day, it's a golf week. And already I believe teams are signing up for that. So please, the more the merrier. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a win against the Budgies under our belt. And, of course, will the Portsmouth game be on next week, I wonder? You know, it could be storms heading to the south.
Too hot.
Too hot. Anyway, I'll leave you with the two words we always finish up with. Blue Army! 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 This has been a Life's a Pitch TV production. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lakens, all about hearing. Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, GBS Builders, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year: Cancer Support Suffolk, Forget Me Not Golf, and Combat to Coffee.